Welcome to another day in the Matrix. This is Waters Above. Hope you're all having an incredible start to your week. Grateful for every single one of you tuning in today. Sending you all love. We got a lot to get into in today's video, but first, shout out to the Bearable Bull and his community for interviewing me and showing love to the Waters Above Wolfpack. I appreciate y'all. And shout out to Donut Factory. We just did a podcast together yesterday on his channel. Definitely go check that out. As well, shout out to Call Me Kinfolk. We did a marathon live the other night. Time flies when decoders align. So as you can see, I've been keeping busy lately, collaborating with all the decoders. Also, of course, shout out to Decode Your Reality. Definitely check out his channel and support his art. One of the best decoders in the game. And I'm looking forward to all of us continuing to work together to decode this matrix. It's a beautiful thing we're doing here, and I'm grateful for this opportunity. And just a reminder, the new month has started on Patreon. If you've been waiting to join, I appreciate your support. I decided to kick off this month with a brand new decode presentation I just released this morning for Super Bowl 57. It's been a highly requested decode since last year when we were able to determine the Bengals losing Super Bowl 56 in the year of the tiger and the Rams winning for a complete Shemitah ritual. I went even more in depth in this year's decode with a 1-hour presentation connecting everything from past Super Bowls to NBA Finals, the World Cup, and even the formation of Skull and Bones Secret Society in Yale almost 200 years ago, and how it all connects to this upcoming Super Bowl 57. And that's available now on my Patreon, so you can sign up today by visiting patreon.com/watersabove to join the Mastermind community membership and get instant access to my weekly Red Pill podcasts. That's my technical analysis podcast to wrap up the week and for me to review the altcoins that our community votes on. And by becoming a Patreon supporter, you'll also get access to our Discord server for our community group chat to come hang out with the Wolfpack. And you could unlock the biggest discounts available in my courses. The Patreon link can be found in the description box of this video or in the pinned comment below. And you'll also get access to check out my Year of the Rabbit Decoded that I just released a couple weeks ago that ties into this Super Bowl decode I released today. Both of those presentations combined are going to be the foundation of how the rest of this year plays out, not only for the markets and cryptocurrency, but for the economy as a whole, and will be tied to all the geopolitical events and psyops that unfold onto the world stage. So I'm really excited to have this decode out, and I think you guys are going to love it. So in today's video, we're going to recap the monthly close for January and the setup into this month of February and what to expect next in this market for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, Numerology, and Astrology to understand these markets. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the bell notification to stay updated on when new videos come out. And make sure to give this video a like and share this channel on your community. And with that being said, let's take the clear pill. So let's definitely get into some dates, but we know that the Fed speaks today at 2 p.m. right into earnings reports. So earnings reports coming in tomorrow, about 4 days out from this upcoming full moon. So expect this start of February to be spicy, especially with how fake this recent bullish energy has been in the market. This is exactly the kind of energy to expect in a Jubilee year. It went from extremely bearish into the yearly close, and then in just a couple weeks, sentiment flipped completely in the other direction. Now we have Jim Cramer talking about bull runs, and we even have Michael Burry saying to sell. And I actually just decoded this. It happened last night at 7:04 Eastern time. And I teach you guys that Eastern time is the time you want to pay attention to regarding money, finances, markets, etc. And this Michael Burry character was very important back in 2008. I'm sure you probably have seen the movie all about that event and housing market crisis, subprime mortgages, etc. So he tweeted this, and it's his only tweet available, and I actually went ahead and decoded the whole thing. So if you want to follow my Twitter for updates, it's at WATRSABVE, and I'm going to be sharing stuff like this. So this was code, in my opinion, for the number 74. And yesterday when he made this actual post, it was a 74 date numerology, the way that I like to do date numerology with double digits. And if you take from this day over 74 days, it's the second anniversary of Bernie Madoff. And Bernie Madoff was tied to this event that gave Michael Burry fame. Michael Burry wouldn't be as famous today, I don't believe, if this Bernie Madoff thing didn't unfold the way that it did, because the markets were propped up artificially, and this was kind of what set it off. So a huge 74 connection back to the date numerology and the time of this post. And then you can see right here, me just showing that April 14th, 2023 connection. Remember, April 14th of 2021 was when Bitcoin hit its first all-time high before it rolled over, and it took from April all the way till November at the end of the year for it to hit a new all-time high. So that was a very, very significant date, the 144 day. Also, if you take 74 days before this day, you're going to end up at November 17th, which leaves 44 days in the year of 2022. And we can use this date to kind of compare and contrast. And if you take 44 days from this Michael Burry tweet today, it's going to be March 15th of 2023, which is the 74th day of the year, both connecting in 44 days in both directions, as above, so below. That's how these guys play this game. So this Sunday that's upcoming, and we're going to get into that in today's video, the 5th of February, it's 74 days until the next total solar eclipse. And you guys have been hearing me talk about these eclipses a lot over the past year. This one is crucial. So thank you, Michael Burry. He's telling us all to sell perhaps now, but I think it's code. So let's get a little bit deeper into things with the date connections. So here we are. We definitely had that 74 ritual. I exposed it. And like I mentioned earlier, we're about 4 days out from the full moon on February 5th. We know these lunar cycles definitely play a role into what's going on here. This being the 2-5 date, we were just talking about February 5th. And I want to kind of break that down a little bit more. And if we go into our Gematria, we're going to see that rabbit gives us that 25 in reduction. And we are in the year of the rabbit. So these 25s and 52s are very important, guys. And remember, crypto equals 25. Cryptocurrency actually equals 52. So we're getting it in both directions, both in the same cipher, that 2552, directly influencing cryptocurrency. So you got to pay attention to this. I know you guys are here for crypto. So this rabbit symbolism also, because we were talking about the rabbit and the 25 and connected to February 5th, which is the 2-5 date in the Gregorian system. And this is a full moon, and the rabbit is a symbol of the moon. It's very important that we consider that. Also, if we take from this date and we compare it to this upcoming Rosh Hashanah, the Hebrew New Year, which is the end of the Jubilee, you're going to see it gives us 222 days, the 222 code. So that's definitely an important connection there. And then this gives us a 3-day window to consider because Rosh Hashanah is 3 days. So from the 5th of February to the 7th of February, connecting from the 15th of September to the 17th of September, you're going to have those 222s. And then anytime you just add an extra day, for instance, people over there in Australia, you're getting, my videos are coming out, you're getting it the following day. We always want to consider the day before up to the day after as a window of energy, kind of like encroaching energy. But not to get too complicated, we have this 223 connection to the 18th, and you can see right here, this is the 223 year. We're in the Hebrew year that adds up to the 5783 or 23. This 23 is very important, and 223 is the mirror of skull and bones. I get into this very, very thoroughly in my Super Bowl Decoded video that I just released. Okay, so I definitely am considering this, especially because Monday is a moon day, day connected to the moon, and we have that 25 right there in the standard date numerology. It's pretty big stuff. Also, Shemitah giving us the 70. We've been talking a lot about that, and the 25. This is all coded in. Shemitah giving you 25 with 70 and 25. And this day of Monday, September 18th, the end of Jubilee, is going to be 70 date numerology and 25 date numerology. Also, it's 7 months and 11 days connected, the 7-11, and we know that that connects back to Bitcoin being the 117. And I'm just picking this up on the fly at this point, okay? So I'm definitely paying attention to the 5th, 6th, and 7th of February. It's interesting because it starts on a Sunday, and that's when we have a market close. It is also when the Dow Jones Precious Metals Forex will start trading into the weekly close of crypto. And then we have Monday on the 6th, the market opens. We have that 51-15 connection. It's on a Monday, a moon day. And remember, 51 and 15 comes back to moon. This is very significant into the 7th, Tuesday, Mars Day. Definitely could be some energy to consider. And there you go, that big 52 on that date numerology, bringing us back to Rabbit with the 52 in the year of the Rabbit. I believe that this day is very significant, the 5th, 6th, and 7th, for all of these reasons that I just showed you. So with the Fed speaking today and considering these connections, along with that Michael Burry decode I shared earlier, it's definitely feeling like a setup for this first 7 days of February to be a roller coaster. And personally, I'm still keeping my eyes on February 13th, the third quarter moon. I believe this could be a pivot into bullish energy and then continuation of a relief rally through March and short-term uptrend that lasts potentially into the lunar eclipse of May. So I don't mean that this day is bullish. I mean that by this day, we should actually see continuation into this new moon, which will eventually bring us into a bullish March. Basically, March and April should be pretty positive months leading into this upcoming solar eclipse, total solar eclipse, which, wow, that's amazing. As we're making this video, it's 77 days and 7 hours, the 777. Pretty amazing. So let's get into some of the TA, but before we go into the technical analysis, go ahead, give this video a like if you haven't already. Spread some love in the comment section. That's what we're all about here. All right, so let's get into what's going on in this market today. All right, so I did release my Red Pill podcast this past Sunday, and I was talking about how this kind of energy that we're getting right now is very toppy feeling, like it's kind of feeling like we got to make a decision. And with 12-hour RSI just being completely overheated, this is clearly a bearish divergence where we're seeing RSI hitting about 95 with the price sitting at around 20,000. And here we are with prices of almost 24,000, and we're making lower highs on RSI. So this is just basic technical analysis at this point, but it's telling me that a short-term reversal would be healthy for the market, and it doesn't have to be much. Technically, we would just like to see maybe a retest of 20,600, and if we want to talk about the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, we do have this gap sitting around 20,400 into 20,000 flat. You know, a push down for Bitcoin, $3,000 from here would definitely shake out any leverage traders who are in bullish long positions, and it would just be healthy for the market. It would be healthy to have the RSI reset and to just kind of like get us to get going and propel us into our next leg up. So I'm not saying that is exactly how it will happen because that's a big pullback, but at least into like the 21.5 area would be ideal. It would definitely be ideal to start resetting some of these lagging indicators, some of these oscillators. All right, so let's look at the monthly close for Bitcoin. We're going to go onto a index chart, and I'm going to turn off all this noise, and we're just going to look at the basics. Okay, so here we are on this July monthly close, which is sitting exactly at 23,315, and that was your resistance level. That is your current level to break. And here on our recent close, it was 23,130, so about $100 or so less, and that is technically lower. And if you look at the wick high that we got in this current month, it was only 23,955, let's just call it 24,000, and the wick highs going in these two structures is higher than that. So still, we have yet to break this July-August level after this larger pullback that happened in June. Again, that was an eclipse ritual. So this is actually a very positive sign, though. It's a confirmation that we've started to solidify what we call the bottom. And again, the bottom is a multi-month, sometimes multi-year phase. It is not the exact low that we're talking about when we say bottom. We're talking about structure that shows us proof of it when we have a trend reversal. And until Bitcoin starts trading above 25,000, there is no trend reversal. We're still in lower highs. We have our high, lower high, technically still lower high. Okay. So now that we've been doing this for over a year now, and if we go from this buying climax over in April, we're sitting almost 700 days. This is about time to anticipate a little bit of a relief rally, or what I'm calling a Wyckoff automatic rally. And it would be sensible for it to repeat like it did this cycle. And thus far, it's actually looking pretty damn similar. Okay, so you could see this horizontal level here, which was a prior support. When we broke it, we actually came and just blasted right through that level of $6,200. All right, that level right here of about 6,200 would be similar to this level right here, about 33,000, but in today's cycle. And the difference between breaking through this structure and us having a almost like parabolic move is quick. It's very quick, guys, and you got to be ready for that. So you can see right here, this was a 30% candle. This was a 60% candle, and then a 25% candle. Thus far, we actually had a 40% candle in January. That's incredible comparatively to the sentiment that we were working with in December. And that was what I brought up earlier. This is how the market maker works. It likes to just tug of war with your emotions, and the wolves are not bullish or bearish. The wolf follows the moon. And that's why we keep ahead of what's happening here, because we're aware that the lunar cycle, the eclipses, the Shemitah, the Hebrew calendar, and all of these esoteric connections are what is actually revealing how this market works. So here I'm actually anticipating this move to continue at exactly how it did in the last cycle, bringing us somewhere into May. As of right now, this monthly close is just a lower high. Let me look at some of the moving averages and see what we're working with here. Okay, I want to get out of this. Okay, so this is a pretty big sign. We have all of our EMAs sitting up here at definitely at a resistance level somewhere around 27. So definitely keep that in mind. Let's go to a weekly. That'll give us some more information. Okay, so here we are with the weekly chart. We have the 200 exponential, 200 simple moving averages coiling up, kissing each other right at 25K. 25K is that level I was telling you about, the high that needs to be broke for a trend reversal. So that's definitely problematic, but we can see on this weekly, we're getting an upslope on some of these key moving averages, the 8 looking great, and then we have the 13, 21, 34. They're still in a bearish posture because I want to see this 13 above the 34. But getting above the 34 and holding it as a support for 3 weekly closes is pretty nice. Now, a return back to the 21 exponential would be really nice because that would just flush us out a little bit and then give us some momentum to go up again. And then after a retest of that 21, I would pretty much be, on a long bias until we start to see maybe the 30s into $40,000 territory. So let's look at 3-day and see what's up here. Okay, so the 3-day is showing me signs of bullish, basically right off the gate. We have this 8 or the yellow moving average crossing the 55 simple. That's a wolf cross. And we have the 13 above the 21 above the 34 above the 55. This is beautiful. So this is what we want to see for actually reversal. Let's look at the 5-day now because, okay, so the 5-day, you can see all of these moving averages coiling up, but we finally made it over that 55, which is nice because this white moving average was a resistance back on this bull trap before we went onto a downtrend. And this was a key moment in my YouTube career because I was talking about how I anticipated a $47,000 Bitcoin into Satoshi's 47th birthday, and that is exactly how that played out to the day. And now we're approaching Satoshi's 48th birthday, which is coming up on April 5th. And I made a little joke. This is not a prediction, but it was just a little joke in my Red Pill podcast, how funny it would be if we saw Bitcoin just thrash up to like 48K. That's a very dramatic move, and that's not a call that I'm making. It's just, it would be ironic at this point how good that indicator is. Just something as simple as knowing this mythological character's birthday, which again, it's exoteric. You could go find out about it. It's not a real person, but I study the mythologies. And if you study the mythologies, you'll know that this is what influences all things in our world, from the court system, logistics, the way money is created, all things. You got to know your mythologies in order to make sense of any astrology work you do. And then having both systems together will make you a lead at this. So anyways, definitely a lower move to the downside would be healthy, but at this point, the market is going to do whatever the hell the Fed wants it to do. And here we are. We have a Fed meeting coming up in a couple hours. You can see that on the daily chart, the 200 exponential is sitting at about 21,200, and that was a level that I said would be a nice pullback. Like if we're going to move back lower, that level would be great. If we're not going to go lower than that, at least hitting the 200 exponential would be great for resetting some of these oscillators. So let's go to ETH and look at the monthly on this and see what went down. Okay, so ETH, you can see that we have a clear resistance line somewhere around 1570. That was where we got our close yesterday. And the level to break would actually be right here at 16,070 on a monthly close. So that was the wick high that we got in last month, November, and October. So key level of 1660 to keep in mind for anyone who wants to pay attention to this ETH analysis. And of course, Ethereum having a breakout would lead to the altcoins having a breakout. The only other isolated instance you really see regarding high market cap tokens would be XRP. But anyways, you could also see a ton of energy right here with these three key moving averages on the monthly chart, all sitting at about 1700 to 1800. So if we were to pop up into that level, a short-term rejection would be in the cards, but getting above those levels would indicate what I'm calling a relief rally. Let's look at the weekly and see what's up here. Okay, so similar actually to Bitcoin, where we're getting above that 34. Now we're holding this 200, and damn, I've never seen a moving average so flat. You could see this light green moving average is almost a straight line at this point. So it's really losing its volatile range, and it's getting a little bit mature, which is a good thing for Ethereum. It's about time. As you know, the last cycle, Ethereum lost 95% of its value. And so far in this cycle, it's actually looked great. And if you look at a lot of the other more speculative projects, you can see that we have altcoins that have lost 98% of their value in this cycle. So ETH is maturing in this cycle for sure. It also lost its volatility to the top. It didn't gain as much, but that's kind of what comes with this market's increase in market cap. As it becomes more mature, it loses that ROI opportunity. Okay, so if we're going to have a pullback, this level right here, coiling up around these weekly moving averages, somewhere around 1440, would be in alignment with Bitcoin hitting those targets that I shared with you earlier. As for upside, it would probably be into this 55 simple moving average on the weekly, and that's still just another lower high below this August level. So we would need a Bitcoin breakout above 25K to start seeing ETH break above its microstructure into 2000 plus. Until then, we're kind of just ranging. That's kind of the summary of a lot of this. It's mostly just ranging. Let's look at XRP, and here we are. We're actually making a huge W pattern. We had this smaller W, which had a breakout. That's fine. That's finalized. But now we're working with a very big W, and let me show you what's up with this. So as long as XRP maintains its weekly closure lows, we're looking like a really large W here. Let me put this. Okay, 1 second. This is my first time identifying this, so this is awesome. You could see right here what I'm talking about. And it's all within this range, and this is your neckline. I would even go and put the neckline somewhere around 48 cents, but excuse all these drawings. I'm just going to quickly try to identify what we could be anticipating on this W breakout. It'll probably be somewhere around here, healthy. Oh yeah, you're looking at about 90 cents. And if this was to really go up, it'd be $1 flat. So $1 flat does make sense because it would just be another lower high, and that would get us into the golden pocket, and that's what I teach. I teach you guys on this relief rally that we're anticipating, unless there's a black swan, unless the SEC case finishes up or something like that, something miraculous, technically, from a technical analysis perspective, and I know anyone who came over from the Bearable Bulls channel, you get now, he respects my work for a reason, and it's because we're looking at this technically. We're not getting lost in the sauce of hope. We're really trying to be analytical, take our emotions out of it. It's not to hurt anyone's feelings or to destroy anyone's investment thesis. It's just to play what the market gives you. Take what the market gives you and trade your plan. Okay, so this W has a clean breakout into the golden pocket. We would want to look at things like RSI when that time comes to determine if we're overheated, but we know XRP, it just likes to shoot up out of nowhere. So getting in position is ideal. So I do like how this level right here, you could see this horizontal yellow line. This is sitting around 38 cents, and it was a resistance at all of our W's, these two W opportunities. And now we've actually flipped above it, and it seems like we're back testing it. So if we were to do a short-term W, it would look something like this. And you can see it would take us probably into, it's right there. Okay, so it's the same. It would just be into these wicks of the overall W. So this is really like that make or break time. If Bitcoin wants to roll over a little bit, I do anticipate we could probably get back to 35 cents for XRP, hold on to this outside trend line. We also have this really long-term support line, which it's a little bit odd looking, but from the prior cycle back in 2018 down to the C19 crash, double bottom there before having the flare distribution thing. And then I can't even confirm it because it was just so long ago, but it led to this SEC crash. And then we had what was called the buying climax of this current cycle and then a downtrend. We just revisited this same trend line. So we're at the apex of that. And that's very key. It sits around 34 cents. It gives us some weight to the idea that XRP holding 30 cents is in the cards, at least in the short term. As for September, October, when we have these eclipses, that's another story. But we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves right now. Okay, so I've given you guys all the upside targets, all the downside. Again, I'm really paying attention to this upcoming Fed meeting. How it's gonna affect this market into the daily close, as well as we have February 5th and 7th, all tied back to some big connections. And I was just talking earlier about the year of the rabbit and those connections to it all. Well, this decode of Super Bowl 57 is going to show you how it's all tied together into this upcoming Super Bowl, which is going to be on February 12th, a huge date connected to the rabbit symbolism. So I appreciate all of your support. Anyone who comes over to the Patreon and joins, appreciate you. I'm grateful for all of the love and hoping that you have a beautiful rest of your day in the Matrix. Much love.